Rugby, 10 stars who could swap countries for 2019 Rugby World Cup. Rugby, 10 stars who could swap countries for 2019 Rugby World Cup. Mananu takes on the Tongan defence during their 2015 Rugby World Cup pool clash at St James Park in Newcastle. Is rugby heading down the same path as league, with Tier 1 international players now said to turn out for Tier 2 teams? And which star players could switch allegiances? Alex McLeod takes a look. In rugby league, the idea came to fruition when stars like Jason Taumalolo and Andrew Fifita turned their backs on representing New Zealand and Australia to play for Tonga at the recent Rugby League World Cup. Since the Grannygate scandal that came to light in 2000 where 3 players were found to be representing Scotland and Wales illegally, Rugby Union has maintained their strict policy of players representing just one nation. However, with Rugby Sevens debuting at the Olympics last year, a clash in regulations between World Rugby and the International Olympic Committee created a loophole in the eligibility system. This loophole allows players who have represented either their country's top or second-tier XVs team or senior sevens team to switch allegiance to another nation, provided they have a passport for the second country and have completed a 3-year international stand-down. Once the stand-down is completed, players must partake in an Olympic event, which includes qualifying tournaments and the 2018-19 World Sevens Series, to make themselves eligible for their new nation at all levels. Since the loophole was discovered and publicized in 2014, few have taken advantage of it. Tim Nanai Williams did. A former New Zealand Sevens representative, Nanai Williams played in 4 World Sevens Series tournaments to make himself eligible for Samoa ahead of the 2015 Rugby World Cup. Tim Nanai Williams in action for Samoa at the 2015 Rugby World Cup. Nanai Williams has since gone on to play in 11 tests for Samoa, and now former All Blacks Mananu and Charles Piutau plan on following his lead to play for their Pacific Island nations of heritage at the 2019 World Cup in Japan. With such high-profile players registering their interest in representing the islands on the world stage, we highlight just some of the many key players who have represented other nations that would be eligible for Samoa, Tonga, or Fiji should they choose to exploit the regulations loophole. Samoa Mananu, Toulon. Mananu in action for Toulon. One of the greatest All Blacks of all time, the 103-test midfielder would be a prized asset for Manu Samoa with his well-crafted all-round ability. Nanu last played for the All Blacks in the 2015 Rugby World Cup final, meaning he, at the age of 36, would be available to partake in an Olympic event for Samoa as early as the opening leg of the 2018-19 World Sevens Series in Dubai. Manu Tulagi, Leicester Tigers. Manu Tulagi runs with the ball during his last test for England against Wales in March last year. Should Tulagi decide to ditch the white of England for his nation of birth, he could form half of a formidable midfield combo with Nanu. Renowned for his sheer power and blockbusting runs, constant injuries and suspensions have kept the 26-year-old out of England's squads in recent international windows. He most recently played for Eddie Jones' side against Wales in last year's Six Nations, which means he could turn out for Samoa's Olympic qualification campaign midway through the 2018-19 World Sevens Series. Victor Vito, La Rochelle. Victor Vito won Top 14 Player of the Year earlier this year. The former All Black loose forward won Top 14 Player of the Year for his efforts during the 2016-17 campaign for La Rochelle, showing he has by no means slowed down since departing New Zealand for France. This sort of world-class form would make the two-time World Cup winner a valuable member of Samoa's loose forward trio. Vito would become available at the same time as Nanu. Digby-Ian, Panasonic Wild Knights, Digby-Ian on attack for the Crusaders at the Brisbane Global Tens in February. Despite being best known on this side of the Tasman for getting humiliated by Jerome Kaino during the 2011 World Cup semi-final, Ian is still a fine player with a great reputation. The former Crusaders wing would follow in the footsteps of his father Natu if he turned out for Samoa, with the older Ian playing one match for his homeland against the Maori All Blacks. The 32-year-old's last appearance for the Wallabies came against the British and Irish Lions in 2013. As a result, he has already completed his 3-year stand-down, making him immediately available for Samoan selection as soon as their Olympic qualification campaign begins. Iai Toiva, Claremont. Iai Toiva looks to clear the ball for Claremont. One of the youngest All Blacks debutants ever, Toiva never really quite reached the potential many envisaged him to have. Nevertheless, the Motucha-born utility back won himself 35 caps for the All Blacks in addition to a 2011 World Cup title before jetting off overseas 5 years ago. The 31-year-old's 3-year stand-down was completed in 2014, meaning he could have elected to represent Samoa in the previous Olympic qualification cycle for Rio 2016. Toiva would be a senior figure in the Samoan World Cup squad. Tonga. Charles Piutau, Ulster. Charles Piutau takes on a defender during Ulster's Pro 14 clash with the Cheetahs in Belfast. The Bristol-bound outside back could easily be regarded as the most talented players to have come through the ranks in New Zealand rugby, only to go on to slip through the cracks and head to Northern Ireland. Piutau departed these shores 2 years ago at the age of just 23 with only 17 Test caps to his name, leaving onlookers to ponder what might have been if he were to have stayed and forged an international career with the All Blacks. However, the 26-year-old has chewed through 2/3 of his 3-year stand-down, and could still join his older brother Sail in representing the Aikautai in future seasons. If he continues the electric form that won him the Pro 12 Players Player of the Year last season, he would surely be too irresistible of an option for Tonga to let slide by. George Smith, Reds. George Smith in his last Wallabies test against the British and Irish Lions in 2013. The Wallabies legend amassed a total of 111 test caps over a 13-year period, where he established himself as one of Australia's greatest flankers. Smith last pulled on the green and gold jersey in the final test of the 2013 British and Irish Lions series, meaning he met the stand-down requirements in June last year. A standout for the struggling Reds in this year's Super Rugby campaign, his defensive work ethic and ability over the ball would be warmly welcomed by Tonga. Should he look to pursue a World Cup spot with the Aikautai in 2019, he would have to do so at the grand old age of 39. Frank Halai, PAL. Frank Halai on the charge against Japan during his solitary test appearance for the All Blacks in 2013. An exciting wing who formerly played for the Blues, Halai became a one-cap wonder in 2013 when he made his one and only test appearance for the All Blacks against Japan in Tokyo. He killed off his future All Blacks aspirations in 2015 when he signed a deal with the UK-based Wasps, where he continued his explosive form by scoring 12 tries in 25 matches. Now at the Kiewé-Laden Pau club in France, Heli has expressed his interest of playing for Tonga's national coach Tautai Kefu, where he would undoubtedly make an instant impact. The 29-year-old met the 3-year stand-down prerequisite in November last year. Fiji Joe Rokokoko, Racing 92. Racing 92's Joe Rokokoko sprints past Munster's Keith Earls during their European Champions Cup clash in Limerick in October. The joint record holder for most test tries scored in a calendar year, 17, Rokokoko was one of the most electrifying talents in world rugby when he burst onto the international scene in 2003. The Nadi-born wing, who now plies his trade at Parisian glamour club Racing 92, sits second equal on New Zealand's all-time try-scoring list with 46 5-pointers and 68 outings. The fleet-footed 34-year-old hasn't let his aging body prevent him from churning out top-quality performances in France, nor should it prevent him from representing Fiji with the opportunity now available. His 3-year international stand-down was wrapped up in 2013, meaning he could make an appearance for the Olympic champion Fiji Sevens side as early as next year. Rokokoko would add to the already fearsome backline Fiji acquire heading into the 2019 World Cup.